Welcome to my video. I'm going to start a new direction today. I think this is called Contemplative Roots. And what I want to do is reflect on my own experience, if that's okay, to explore how I was drawn into contemplative prayer and what I've learned over the years. And certainly the sort of first great influence on me was Ignatius of Loyola, who I think was born towards the end of the 1400s. I always remember him around 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and I think he was born around that time and lived into the 1500s, and had a very dramatic encounter with God that led him to form the Jesuit order within the Roman Catholic Church. So he's been really important to me. How do I get into it? Well, let me take you back to when I was a curate. That was after training at theological college. You do 3 years or so working with a vicar in a church, and I chose to come to South Yorkshire, to Greensborough in Rotherham, and to a church which had quite a clear charismatic evangelical ethos. And at the time I was very taken with the charismatic movement. I felt this wonderful experience of God was the way forward for the church, was somehow the silver bullet that would help us to grow and flourish. I think now, age 60 rather than aged, late 20s, I now know there are no silver bullets. But there are things that can help us in the difficult discipleship and following of Jesus day by day. That's what it's about, that difficult daily encounter with Jesus, following him, working out how to serve him. There are things that help us. So at the time, we were quite influenced by John Wimber, American charismatic evangelical leader, and other charismatic leaders within this country. And my boss, Peter Anderson, who I learned a great deal from, had broad sympathies. So he took me off sometimes to a Catholic charismatic church, and we worked with Methodists and United Reformed. And he had made a link with someone from an Orthodox church in Doncaster. So yeah, he had broad sympathies. I think, looking back, somehow this magic bullet wasn't working for me, that actually what I thought was the great hope I was finding more difficult than I thought, and wasn't working the way I thought it should. So that sort of context, within my post-ordination training group, there was an Anglo-Catholic called Martin, who just had such a different background to mine. But I learned a lot from Martin, or Father Martin, I think. Maybe Father something else. I think you weren't even allowed to call him by his first name. It was very strange. But he got me into reading Gerard Hughes' wonderful book, God of Surprises, which is his sort of reflection on the spiritual exercises of Ignatius, which were originally to be used in a 30-day silent retreat, which so much was a sort of foundation of the Jesuit movement. So this just delightful book explored the spirituality of Ignatius, and particularly got me into imaginative Bible contemplation, can I call it? So in the church, there was quite an emphasis on listening to God, hearing God speak, in a sort of quite intuitive way, which was powerful and helpful. I think I didn't find that very easy. And in this imaginative Bible contemplation, I found another route into that sort of encounter with God. And in my youthful enthusiasm, I used it all over the place in home groups. I think I was asked to speak to the United Reformed Church ladies group. I'm not sure it was a terribly appropriate thing, but I got them doing an imaginative Bible contemplation, and people connected with it. I certainly used it within the youth group. I think that frightened me because they just saw so much in their imaginations. I didn't really know what to do with all that they came out with. And I didn't find it that easy to do. I could do it with groups, help other people to do it, but on my own I found it hard. I think I now understand that I'm very much in the sort of logical left brain. That's my training, science and all that. I find it difficult to connect with the creative, intuitive side of me, which is really where what connects in this way of meeting God in the Bible. So, what's it about? It's about reading a Bible passage, often a gospel story. I think stories work best. And letting God lead you into an imaginative exploration of what's going on in the passage, imagining yourself in the passage and meeting God in that imaginative way. I think it was really important for me because within the Charismatic Evangelical movement, there is an emphasis on our badness, our sinfulness. So this reaching out to an experience of God is about finding God who is perfect and allowing him to come and meet with us. I am unworthy, but God comes and meets with me. Yet actually at heart, allowing God to speak through our imagination is, in a strange way, valuing part of us, which we will come on to as I go on my journey, that actually God is here within us. When I first read that, oh dear, I couldn't cope with that. No, it's not true. But it is. God is at work inside us. And we don't need to have a sort of continuous, fresh encounter with the Holy Spirit. We need to trust that God's Spirit is working inside us. So, that was my journey. And I think in recent years, I've sort of come back to Ignatius. Sort of 10 years ago, I came back to Ignatius. I still don't find the imaginative stuff very easy. But I have learned a lot from Ignatius. So I'll take a few sessions on Ignatius. And what I'm going to do next is lead you in a Bible passage. So I want this to be practical. So I'll try and do something practical each time. Okay, so let me stop there. Amen.